Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Build, 7th period build with Mr. Garcia. My name is Carlos Garcia. Very nice to meet you all, at least through this platform, right? Wish could be in person, but definitely a different year this year. So at least you'll be able to hear a little bit about myself, who I am, what I stand for, what Build's about. So here we are, right? So Build, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful program. I feel like a lot of the students that have taken Build in the past have really taken advantage of the opportunity. So I'll talk a little bit about Build in just a bit. But before I do that, just so you guys understand a little bit more about myself, been at Sequoia for about 10 years. I've been doing many different tasks at Sequoia. This is my 6th year teaching Build. I've been teaching for 7 years. I also teach Spanish. But aside from that, I've coached soccer. I've worked with at-risk students in the Teen Resource Center, worked with students in the College and Career Center, worked with ELD students in the summers, teaching them English, teaching them math. So I've been doing a little bit of everything at Sequoia High School, and that definitely has helped me understand some of the things that some of our students need. So yeah, it's definitely a pleasure to be here. Definitely a pleasure to be teaching Build once again. Like I said, this is my 6th year, and I've made great relationships with my students in these past 6 years, especially with my Build students. I feel like Build really gives me the opportunity to get my students to know a little bit better, especially because I do see them every day. Obviously, if it was a regular year, have them during 7th period, and I would see them every day. Now, with the circumstances that we're under, obviously that's not going to be the case. But even then, we have so many other events aside from just being in class that really give me the opportunity to really understand and get to know my students. So definitely a little more special than just my regular Spanish classes, because I do see I see my students flourish and grow in many different ways that maybe I don't get to see my Spanish 1 students do the same. That also has to do with the fact that Build is smaller. I always had between 15 and 20 students, right? And like I said, I do see them every day, and then I see them during mentor sessions, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. So that gives me an extra opportunity to be able to really connect with my students. So yes, build, very, very important program. Like I told my students already, and like I do it every year, it's not your regular English math class. It's not a class where your students are going to be receiving homework, right? So a lot of times parents are asking, what's your homework for Build? What are you supposed to be doing for Build? Build is a space, is a place where students are being creative. They're being asked to problem solve. They're being asked to be innovative. They're being asked to collaborate and work in teams to communicate with a lot of activities that are happening in class, right? So not your regular English, not your regular math class where they have a lot of busy work, right? They have to take notes, they have to do homework, they have to study for tests. That's not what Build is about. Build is about giving the students an opportunity once again to be creative, right? And come up with ideas, come up with their own business product and their own business, so that during the year they're able to present these different ideas to different judges, to different people, not just myself. And hopefully by the end of the year be able to make a product and make some money. So that's I think that's an exciting part about Build, is that students are actually being put in a spot where they're not working individually, they're working in teams, and they're being asked to come up with different things, presentations. Um, they work on communicating with people, on their public speaking skills, to be able to try to sell and market whatever it is that they're coming up with. So I feel like that's a very that's a very important and valuable position to be in as a teenager. So definitely a very special class. I tell them it's a privilege to be in Build, uh, but like I say, and like I tell them, whatever they put in is what they're gonna get out of it, right? Because a lot of times the students are in my Build class and don't want to participate, or don't want to be part of activities, or don't want to get out of the comfort zone. And if they don't do that, I mean, they're not gonna get a lot from the class, right? So the more they put in, the more they're gonna get out. And this year's gonna work a little bit differently. They're not gonna be asked to necessarily come up with a business idea or a business product that they're gonna manufacture during the year, which has been what we've been doing in the past. They're gonna come up with either programs, with services, or campaigns, especially now that we're dealing with things like coronavirus, right? Like COVID-19, where they're going to be asked to come up with creative ideas to hopefully solve and address some of the situations and issues that have come up, right, because of the situation that we're in. And so they're going to try to promote that. They're going to try to market that as a team throughout the year. Usually we have three really special events where the kids dress up professionally. We're talking about shirts, ties, dresses. They present in front of different people, right, in front of judges. They compete against teams in our class. They compete against teams in our school, and then they're able to compete against teams from other schools in the peninsula. And this year they might be even have the opportunity to compete against schools from Oakland, which I think is a perfect opportunity for students to be able to connect, right, and see what other kids are doing across the bay. So we'll definitely have those type of events. Not quite sure if that's going to happen physically, but for sure it will happen through Zoom. And like I said, they're going to be working in teams, and hopefully coming up with ways to address different issues that have come up in society nowadays. And at the end of the day, in previous years, students have been able to sell a product and make money. This year, they're going to have hopefully they're going to have a salary that, based on whatever they come up with, they're going to be able to earn some money throughout the year. So I think, once again, that's very exciting. And like I tell my students, that's exciting for them and it's exciting for me, because I'm always happy to see them earn or win some money during the year. But I don't think that's the important part about Build. I think the important part about Build is that they become part of a program. It's not just Mr. Garcia. They become part of a, a support system where they're being introduced to different Build staff. Uh, Mentors come in. So I think that's very special. That's not happening in any other class. Mentors come in to help them out with these ideas and help them progress their thoughts, and help them with the process. So they're being introduced to many different professionals in our different sectors of society, not just Mr. Garcia. So I think that's very, very, very special. So like I tell them, it's definitely a privilege to be in a class like this, because they're part of a support system that they want to have somewhere else, right? And they'll start meeting some of the Build staff that are here to support them. Um, they'll meet their mentors in October. So once again, mentor sessions are gonna happen this year. And so what mentor sessions are, and usually during the regular school year, right? If it were to be a regular school year, uh, on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, which have been the days that we've chosen in the past. So students actually have to come back to school, and we have mentor sessions once a week, from 5:30 to 7, and that's a space where they're able to collaborate, talk to their mentors, meet their mentors, and their mentors are assigned to certain groups, and they help them out with their different ideas. So mentors fluctuate. That first semester, I'll have them sit around between different groups, and then by the time we come up with groups, which is the objective, this first semester is to come up with a certain amount of groups, usually three or four, where students are going to be working with those same students the rest of the year, right? Those same classmates the rest of the year. Then they have a certain mentor or two mentors assigned to that team, um, and those mentors help them out with the process, right? So those mentor sessions that I'm speaking of, they do become part of the class. They are part of the grade. So students need to make sure that they show up for them, right? Obviously, since we're not doing that in a classroom environment this year, the students are going to be asked to show up for these mentor sessions through Zoom, which will happen on Thursdays after school, the time to be determined. So even after they're done with their Zoom classes during the day, they'll be asked to connect through Zoom for our mentor sessions, where they'll be able to meet their mentors. So with that said, in terms of grades, Build, um, and it's one of the things that I always speak to my students about, is that this should be their easiest class. There's no reason why it should have students failing. And like I said before, it's not your regular math English class where you're gonna have so much work. It's all about participation and being engaged, right? Making sure that you're helping out your team, that you're collaborating, making sure that you're showing up for mentor sessions, that you're showing up for our events, that you're well dressed, right, when we have these events. So it's all about participating and just getting a glimpse of what real life is. Um, so as long as you're staying engaged, you're participating, right, you're taking the initiative to do some work, right, to help out your teammates, uh, to look busy, right, to make sure that you're making an effort, then you'll be fine. I don't like talk much about grades because it's really all about the skills that the kids are learning when they're participating and they're engaged. So if they're doing that, I rarely have students really get D's or F's because that shouldn't be the case. Even C's. As long as students are participating, they're staying engaged, taking the initiative to do something, they should be fine in terms of grades. But like I said, build is all about the skills that they're building throughout the year, which we talk about. We have 6 spark skills, which are communication, collaboration, problem solving, innovation, grit, and self management. That's what build is about. It's definitely a privilege to be a part of a program like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with your students. If you guys need any type of help, any type of support, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach me at cgarcia@seq.org. And hopefully I'll be speaking to some of you guys soon. So yeah, nice meeting you guys and have a wonderful night. Thank you.